To be very honest, we're not looking at it that way because we're still here and we're going to do everything that we did up until now. And in our perspective, this is only going to help us do it better. But to answer your question, why, right? So, Happy is an organically grown debt-free company, and anybody who's been in business knows that at various stages of growth, money is what makes more money, right? And we've done everything in our capability without pulling too many favors to bring this agency this far. And I think our clients and our campaigns, our work and our employees have kind of brought to life the fact that what we're trying works and is correct in a lot of ways. I think it just kind of came to a point where we needed to give Happy everything it needs. We've always been very clear. We both are the founders of Happy. We are not happy. And to be able to compete in the market with the biggest guys, we needed to equip the agency with everything that it could require. I think Happy's come to a point where we really can't turn away and tell people, especially when you're handling large clients, that we can't do this or you'll have to find somebody else. We must have it all. I'm not saying that we'll provide every service that's available, but I think it needs that kind of muscle to pull forth from every angle.
I don't know if it's a fact of life, but when we started Happy, we said we'll be just around 35 people and we will do some really kick-ass work. But though we did that bit, there were a lot of people who wanted to join us, right? And at that point, we've reached a stage where we were neither small, neither big. So we said, why not just go on to the other end and become this large agency with the same culture of a small agency.
It's not about aligning with a network. Maybe that is the end, or those might be one of the largest options available. I mean, if you have somebody who's willing to individually come and pump in money, sure, why not? But how many people look at an old industry like advertising and come in with an investment? Or hey, I mean, let's not forget there are independents in the industry today who have aspirations of buying networks. So there is no hard and fast rule that the network is the end game. For some it could be the end game, for some it could be a means to the end, and I guess for some it might be a whole new way.
For us, it was mainly about work. So, for example, we had Flipkart and Dentsu, which was around about our size when they started off, right? And as they grew bigger, we also had to grow bigger and extend.
So I wouldn't look at it as a way out, firstly. So, firstly, it depends on what kind of business you are. So, it's a law of business. Growth is the only law of business. So, if you want to stay in business, you want to stay relevant, you have to keep growing. At various stages, capital is a very huge important ingredient. So far as you can provide it yourself, it's fine, but at a later stage you need some of that capital to be coming in. And thirdly, it's got to do with what is your vision here, what kind of agency you are, and what is it that you want. For some it could be a way out, for some it could be a way in. It's a matter of perspective. Are we aligning ourselves with a large one, or are we taking on the backing of a large one? Are we wiring into the nervous system, or are we using their muscle? So it's a matter of perspective, and that is the difference between different agencies. There is no single formula, there is no single perspective. So we met pretty much everybody. I think first it was Ashish. We've always had this belief that it doesn't matter what organization or brand who represents. If the guy on the other side of the table is a monkey, run, right? So it didn't matter. It all was dependent on the individuals that we met. There was a certain no nonsense, straight to the point kind of person that Ashish is, that we felt very comfortable about.
We met a lot of people before we met Ashish Basin. They've come to our office and met us, and we never found any fire on the other side. But when we met Ashish, we knew there was a leadership that's on fire.
We were very clear that at some point that we would merge with someone. It wasn't so much so a network, but we wanted to merge with someone who would really bring in something to the agency. There would be a match in philosophy, definitely. Ashish came speaking to us from Megari Bhavan. So Dan was just the holding company. The brand and the philosophy that we were marrying into was Megari Bhavan. And Megari Bhavan pretty much has a very similar story as Happy's. And then we saw their work, and then we met them. There was a match in culture. And at one end you have the DNA of a Japanese firm. We both are big fans of Japanese culture and the work that they produce. And on the other end, he was a brand that was coming out of New York, almost Madison Avenue. It was dream come true. One is opportunity. Two, working with the global units on global pitches. Another very huge tangible change. The third is exchange of intel. Which as an indie agency we had no one to ask. Other agencies write to someone in Dusseldorf and say, send me a presentation on this or some other branch there. We had no one to send us any presentations. We are not seeing Megari Bhavan as a separate brand. We are not seeing Happy as a separate brand. How are we going to grow Happy Megari Bhavan? In ways that we didn't till now. That's all I can tell you. We plan to go and take a shot at bigger accounts.